So, have you ever read the book, The Prosperous Life Coach?
No, I'll write that down though.
Okay. So, The Prosperous, I even got it, I'm looking at it right now. It's by Stephen Chandler and Rich Lifton,
Okay.
right? And for any aspiring coach, I recommend this book.
Okay.
And this book goes as such. It basically gives you the guidelines of if you're trying to build a website and do all these things and pick up clients and all of this kind of stuff, you're doing it wrong. You're struggling. It starts with a conversation. And when you have a conversation and you realize, holy shit, like, this person needs me. You know what I mean? And that's where this conversation goes, hey, listen, this is something I can help you with. If you're open, let's have a conversation. And that's when you set up the conversation. And it's like, and then you give that person the dopest ass, you know, one-on-one that you've ever given, that they've ever received, you know, opening, listening, calling them in, basically to be like, holy shit, like I need this person, right? Because you have the schools, sorry, the skills and the intention to be able to help these people. And the idea goes, that's how you get your clients. How you get your clients, I'm sure, Instagram, all these things, they're all great and they're nice tools to use. But at the end of the day, everything you do is word of mouth. Because if that all had to go away, you'd go back to word of mouth.
Mm-hmm.
So that also shows you where you are in your own practice and where you are in your own business. Are you able to come through? Are you able to go, hey, this is what I do, this is how I show up, let's have a conversation? Well, let's see if it's a fit, if it works. If it feels great, let's go.
Mm-hmm.
You know, deposit, deposit some cash and let's fucking get going. Because my masculine knows exactly what's up,
Yeah.
knows what's going on, knows what to do, what to charge, and how to charge. And if you want to use my benefits and my skills, let's go. I'm gonna take you from A to Z, and it's gonna be incredible. So there's a confidence and an awareness in how you're coming across in that space, and that's how I come across in my space, which takes time, and I also, and this is more than not my story, but part of my story, and I remember seeing this beautiful woman, and she was talking about her coaching clients, and she was charging like 75 an hour, and she wasn't getting any clients. So she's like, well, fuck it, I'm not getting any clients at 75 an hour. You know what? Fuck that. I'm gonna charge 150 an hour, you know? And immediately people were like, oh, let's go, because they see
Mm-hmm.
value in money, right? So it's also knowing your own value. You know, the best coaches in the world are nowhere near the most wealthy by far. Best coaches in the world are, they charge an amount that is good, that works for them, it keeps the consistency of clients, but if they were having to charge their actual worth, as all of us, it would be a million times higher than what we charge for sure, because our time is valued and it's valuable. So essentially, that's also part of it. Because recently, I also started, which is also something I wanted to do, which I started a real estate business. So I started in real estate about 2 years ago once the crash came in. And I was like, okay, it's something I wanted to do. I'm also an entrepreneur in that space. So I wanted to try something new, try build something new from scratch and learn, see how it works. And so I've been 2 years in the business and, incrementally growing as well. And I wanted to grow and to do something I haven't done before because it also helped me financially go, oh, well, I don't need to coach.
Mm-hmm.
When I coach, I want to coach. So when I have a client, I'm not like, oh my God, you know, you don't want to say the wrong thing in case you lose the client, which is never the benefit of the client.
Yeah.
What is the best way you can serve your client, right? Which is basically calling your client in to everything. They don't need people to blow smoke. They need people to call them in and see their blind spots when no one else does. So that's kind of how I kind of built more of my business. And now I'm getting back into my coaching again a little bit more, building my platform again. And this is the process.
Yeah.
And that process of going through this is also taking me back into my own work, which I love. So whenever I'm coaching, I'm in my work as well.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, okay, I got to make sure I'm on top of what I'm teaching, right?
Yeah. This is interesting.
Does that all make sense?
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. And it's making me wonder, like, you've got life coaching, which is um, it's it's not like the traditional business, and then you've got real estate, which is maybe the most traditional business. So I'm wondering, you started your career here in Costa Rica with the life coaching. What lessons learned through life coaching are the most important that you found in the real estate? Like, does it still come back to the same sorts of conversations and relationships that was kind of the engine for your?
Totally.
Yeah, it's the same exact thing. Just yeah.
It's the same thing. Everything I've done is word of mouth. So, you know, how you actually get clients is also not how good you are. It's how safe people feel with you and how much they trust you, right? So what kind of container are you setting where people can trust you? Obviously, you want to make sure you're good, you know what you're doing everything to build your client's trust, but also your own trust within yourself. But at the same time, it's the communication, it's the conversations, how are you having them? Are you saying exactly what you do? Are you believing in what you're doing? Are you strong on what you're doing? So if I say to you, Jake, hey dude, what's up, man? What do you do?
I'm a trainer,
What kind of trainer?
uh, exercise trainer, athletic trainer.
No shit, dude. Yeah, I feel like I need to lose like a couple pounds and just like strengthen up because I got like a dad bod and I don't really know what to do. Like, how do I do it?
It's consistency, man. Uh, yeah, you got to get in here consistently. We got to find something that you love to do that you can show up for and be focused to work on every day. Um, that's how it starts. Get in the
Okay.
routine.
So how's that work?
Um, with my clients, I start off with an assessment. And I'm looking for two things. I'm looking for what are their, I call them bottlenecks. What's the hinge points in their motions? Like for some people, they might have an injury that is the biggest thing holding them back. Other people, it might be an inefficient movement pattern. So there's two things: bottleneck isolation, attack the bottlenecks and systematically improve whatever the strongest issues are, and then tap into their passion. Some people may have played volleyball in high school 20 years ago or something like that. So it's trying to find elements of whatever they've loved doing and moving in the past and trying to leverage that into a system to address their bottlenecks, their weak points.
Mhm. Now that's great. So that's kind of nichey. That's good. I like the way, everything you said was great. When you come through it and when you're proposing that and you wanting to get clients, again, you bring in a client. You're going, this is my approach. This is how I do it. Why don't you come down Tuesday, meet me? We'll get going and you'll see what I can do. And then we'll see what's up. And then you're kind of like creating what's the call to action. So it's that stern point of, hey man, I know what I'm doing. This is how I do it. You want a call to action? Get your ass down to the gym on Tuesday. I'm gonna train you free. And then you see if you like it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's
Yeah. And then go, oh my God, dude, that's fucking dope. Like totally. I'm gonna bring my other three friends,
yeah.
you know? So, and that's just how it works because you're like, oh shit, this dude's, he knows what he's doing. He's super confident, but he's also like a really, really nice guy, you
Mm-hmm.
know? But people need that leadership. They need to be like, well, I don't really know what to do, man. Then they need someone who's like, listen, motherfucker, we can be friends, but when I'm training you, I'm not your friend.
Mm-hmm.
I'm here to train you. You know, I'm gonna go Diablo on your ass.
Yeah.
And they're like, fuck, totally, dude. Like, I do need that accountability. I need people, pushing me to show up and being stern with me. You know what I mean?
It's, and on that note, this is actually something I was wondering earlier in the conversation, and then we went away from it. But it sounds, and I can feel it in this conversation, but it sounds like a big part of your practice is giving honest, direct feedback, even if it's not what people want to hear. That being stern, like you're saying. I'm wondering, do you
100%.
find it difficult to balance that in your personal relationships, where it's sometimes like you're in a relationship with someone, with a family, or something like that. You can't. They're going to be there, whatever you say, But is it hard to tell them the stuff that they don't want to hear when I don't know? Just how does that work? Are you stern in your personal relationships even when it's not really expected or wanted, as you've kind of developed the ability to be effectively stern and direct in your professional work?
Yeah, the cool thing is with it's much harder with people closer to you
Mm-hmm.
and your partnership because you fear loss of love,
Yeah.
right? So with clients, you can be like, well, you're going to pay me, and you're paying me to tell you your shit. So the more I actually call you in,
Mm-hmm.
the more you're actually going to want to be with me, and not in a toxic way,
Yeah.
but in a holy shit, this person sees my blind spots and I'm paying him to see my blind
Yeah.
spots. So it's a different connection. When it comes to like your family, yeah, I think family is not as easy, but it's doable because they're always going to be there no matter what, pretty much most of the time, you know? And I think the delivery in which we give to family is a bit, I wouldn't say it's filtered, right? So with family, it's definitely doable. You just gotta, work on your delivery of how you do that. I think that's hyper important. With your partnership, it's also very important that you create a container in which you can express this because we don't want to say, babe, like, what the fuck are you doing? How you showing up is hyper toxic.
Mm-hmm.
What you're saying to me is super gaslighty. Like, and I don't appreciate it, da 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 da. Da. So we're scared to lose our partnership, which is why we like hold back and we don't speak our truth and we kind of bubble out, right? And then we're not showing up, and then they feel that resistance and so on and so forth. So the greatest way to really speak your truth is go, babe, we're gonna create a container once a week or once every 2 weeks, and it's going to be fucking on Wednesday. It's going to be 8 o'clock right after dinner, and we're going to be able to express what is coming up and consciously communicate what I'm enjoying in this relationship and what I'm not enjoying in this relationship, where I feel triggered consistently and where, you know, maybe I could show up a little bit more.
Gotcha.
And then once I speak, that person has to basically relay in their own words what they heard from me to show that they're present. And then it's her turn. Hey babe, when you piss on the toilet seat 10 times a day, that gets old quickly. You know? When you like speak over me, I don't like that, right? So I would appreciate it if you could check yourself in when that happens, and I can help check you in. And then it's like, oh my God, I didn't even realize. I didn't even realize I pissed on the toilet seat.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like a habit, you know? Totally get it. I'll even leave a note on the toilet. That'll help. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? So there's ways in which you can engage conversations like this with people, but especially with loved ones, you got to make sure your container is set well, which means you're creating a safe container that you can express yourself fully. So you're not just projecting. It's like, you know, I haven't expressed myself, and then I'm just going to snap on you, right? Because I haven't had the tools or the emotional ability to communicate to you. What's up?
Gotcha. Could you clarify real quick what you mean when you say container? You've used the term a few times, and so what I'm thinking is that you
Okay.
like a container in the recent context you're just saying of a disagreement with a partner is let's have a discussion tomorrow night. There's going to be a beginning and an end of that discussion, and we're going to try to keep the disagreement within those bounds, or the we're going to yeah. Is that kind of
Totally.
okay?
Totally. Think of it like a little trust circle. You know what I mean? So if I have to call a brother out, I'm not going to be like, oh, hey, dude, P.S., you're a dick. Your mother's a whore. I'm out. Peace. You know what I mean? What I would do is, hey, brother, obviously we have a disagreement. Why don't we meet for coffee and set like just a good container of being able to express ourselves fully? And so what that container means is that's like the masculine structure where you can be completely fully open and honest and vulnerable. And it's contained in that structure,
Gotcha.
which means, once it's there, you can say what it is, and then once you break out of that container, you know, you can operate freely as you wish. And that means whatever is said and done in that container is basically kept in that container
Right.
and then applied, obviously, with a call to action afterwards, which is like, okay, babe, so promise me that you're going to make an effort to do this and this and that. Deal. Okay, bam. So they're not going to hold on to that resentment of like, well, you always tell me that I'm speaking over you now and blah, 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 blah. Like, and that's called gaslighting,
Mm-hmm.
right? You need to be able to express yourself in a safe environment container that you set that can then obviously be used as call to action. And then as soon as you step outside the container, that's done.
Gotcha. That's a powerful concept. I've heard. Yeah, I like that a lot. That's a versatile concept. Um, we've got just a few more minutes here. I want to ask you a little bit about the future. From our conversation, I can tell that you. It seems like you kind of find yourself along your path. You know, I don't get the impression that when you moved to Costa Rica, you intended to start these men's groups and get into this line of work. And so my sense is that you learn as you go and infuse all of your learned lessons into kind of setting the next brick in your path. Um, but all that being said, kind of what if you had to guess, if you had to put it out there, where are you trying to go? Like what do you want to do with the skill sets you're developing?
So I'd say, for me, community is a very big piece of my life. So, with my coaching and with the real estate and with these other businesses, my idea is not just to, grow a platform to help more people and to create a really, really dope business, but it's also to be able to contribute to my community. You know, I want to be able to have a piece of land which has 10 to 20, you know, beautiful cabinas on there where I can, not just have retreats and medicine space and, safe space, but also have my family, my friends come and stay as a safe haven, you know, come and be held, come and be nurtured. Someone who's having a hard time, I want to create that safe space for them to come in and really have like a microcosm of my community, have them be held. I live in an incredible community. We have, there's so much variety here in terms of different pockets of community as a whole. But for me, I want to really start to create my own level of, community within my community, and
Okay.
that comes with buying land and building housing and so on and so forth. So that's definitely in the future for me. That's what I want to do, and that will be helped with obviously the means of my businesses.
Hmm. Yeah, I love that, and that really resonates with me. My goal, and people who know me all know it's I would like to have properties with tiny houses. And mine is it's a little more business focused. Like I would like to have a recording equipment and fitness equipment where people go to explore themselves as artists and improve their physical health as well, while having a place to stay and a community to be a part of for the duration. But so I can, yeah, what you're saying, I can feel that for sure.